Chair, I can confirm that the meeting is now live.
Great. Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the September 24th Heritage Advisory Committee meeting. I'd like to call to order and have our land acknowledgement. So, the Halifax Regional Municipality is located in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and traditional lands of the Mi'kmaq people. The municipality acknowledges the peace and friendship treaties signed in this territory and recognize that we are all treaty people. Thank you. So, item 2, approval of minutes. Are there any errors or omissions noted? So I'll call for a motion to approve the minutes.
I so move.
And Paul, second.
I second it.
Thank you. So all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. On to item 3, for the approval of the order of business and approval of any additions or deletions. Simon, are there any additions or deletions?
Thank you, Chair. Through you to the committee, there have been no requests received through the clerk's office for additions or deletions today.
Great. And would any members like to move any items? Great. So I'll call for the motion to approve the order of business.
I move.
Second it.
Oh.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, I don't see any business arising out of the minutes. And so number 5, I'd like to call for any declarations for conflicts of interest. Megan and Ruby? I guess Megan, sorry.
Conflict. I work for the company who is consulting for the client on the project, so that's my conflict.
Okay. And Ruby?
The same one for the English, I work for the same company as well, so I can't be a part of that. Part
9.1.1, sorry.
Okay, great. Thank you for identifying that. So I'll ask that both of you turn off your camera and mute yourself while the item is being discussed. And just ask to remind you that you cannot engage in any discussions while the item is being discussed. Excuse me. Spam call. Great. All right, any other conflicts?
Mr. Chairman, we wanted to check with our clerk to see if those two declare conflict, do we still have quorum to deal with that matter?
Simon is.
Thank you. I can speak to the item. I believe we should still retain quorum. I don't believe that we will be low on members for the meeting for those items.
Great. Thank you. Sec.
Oh, sorry. I think you may have maybe muted there.
Sorry about that. Where are we at? Can I just excuse me for one moment? Sorry.
I will just briefly Phil Spacewell, our chair, is sorting through an issue briefly. If need be, we can take a 5-minute. Oh, yep, I believe our chair is okay now.
Sorry, I work in a busy clinic. Just a little thing I have to do. All right, thank you, everyone. Excuse me for that. So, item 6. So, anything to consider for deferred business? I see there's none identified. And item 7. So, for correspondence, petitions, and delegations, Simon, has any correspondence been received by the clerk's office?
Thank you, Chair. There was some correspondence that was general in nature that's been circulated to all members, but no correspondence associated with the meeting agenda today.
Okay, thank you. And Simon, is there any petitions that you wish to bring forward?
Thank you, Chair. The clerk's office has received 2 petitions to table and circulate to committee today. The first is from the Friends of Woodall and residents of William Street, a request to submit a petition regarding support for an application to register 6027 William Street in the Registry of Heritage Properties, with approximately 60 signatures expressing that the home exhibits a high degree of architectural integrity and holds historical significance as it is connected to Prime Minister King's federal minister, James Ralston, and additionally plays a crucial role in maintaining the integrity of the late Victorian streetscape of William Street, which residents hope to see designated as a future heritage district. That's petition number 1. Petition number 2, the Friends of Woodall and residents of William Street request to submit a petition regarding support for an application to register for Woodall Conservation District properties in the Registry of Heritage Properties. Those are 2494 Robie Street, 2500 Robie Street, 2514 and 16 Robie Street, and 5816 North Street, with approximately 67 signatures expressing that the homes display unique architecture and historical associations worthy of recognition, including adjacency to the former home and clinic of Dr. Lagour, the first licensed Black medical doctor in Nova Scotia.
Thank you. I'm just wondering if we could ask the staff if they have any information they'd like to share with the committee before we discuss.
Good afternoon. Through you, Mr. Chair. My name is Jesse Morton, Principal Heritage Planner here at HRM. So these 2 petitions that have come in, staff don't review the petitions. They go directly to the clerk's office. But the properties noted in these petitions, our team last week received third-party heritage registration applications for them previously. So we are aware of the requests and they are with us for potential study. Typically how our process works is when new heritage registration applications come in, they go into a queue for assignment. Right now we do have a fairly lengthy queue, but we will be getting to these applications as time permits and resourcing permits. So if you have any more specific questions, feel free to direct them to me.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
And I'd like to invite the committee for any discussion on the 2 petitions. I see Councillor Hensby.
I would just want to ask Jesse, do we know if there's any demolition permits also applied for? Would that expedite the urgency of having these applications or petitions reviewed faster than being put in queue?
So through you to the councillor, Mr. Chair. So for one of the properties, the William Street property, staff and our colleagues here at HRM, they have been reviewing a development application for a large property on Robie Street, which would also impact the property on William Street. So that has been in the queue for a little while, that's been being reviewed. There is also a demo application for that property, which has been partially reviewed by staff. It's my understanding, and speaking with some colleagues, that application only needs minor revisions before it is issued. So there is nothing within our heritage policies or the Heritage Property Act legislation that precludes the applicant from seeking applications under different policies and legislation. And there's nothing in those policies right now that gives us the ability to halt those applications because they are being sought out lawfully using established procedures. So right now, the only way that the Heritage Property Act allows us to halt any alterations to a property is if the registration application has been reviewed by the HAC and scores a score of 50 or more points, and then we notify the property owner. So at that point, through that notification, that's the only time we have the ability to put a stop to any alterations or demolitions that could occur. So right now, there's nothing in our ability to stop those applications, which are underway right now.
Would the minister have any abilities under provincial interest to delay a permit?
I mean, ultimately, I would have to defer that to legal, but based on my understanding of the act, the only time that we have the ability to halt alterations or demolitions is once that formal notification has been sent to the property owner and put on the deed of the property.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments? Did that answer your question, Counselor Hensby?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Being no more comments or discussion, I'd like to acknowledge those two petitions. And I'd like to ask the committee if they have any petitions they wish to bring forward. So on to 7.3, presentations, none. And 8, information items to be brought forward, there are none. So on to item 9.1, the one, I'd like to invite Gong, Planner 1, to make the presentation for case HRTG 2024-02793. The requests include 1158 South Park Street, Halifax, in the Registry of Heritage Properties for the Halifax Regional Municipality.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. Good afternoon to the Chair and members of Heritage Advisory Committee. My name is Xiaoqiu Gong. I'm pleased to bring you the case HRTG 2024-02793, 1158 South Park Street in Halifax. In May 2025, an application was made by the current owner to consider the inclusion of 1158.
Excuse me, Gong.
Sorry? Yeah.
Sorry. I don't see your presentation.
Oh, sorry.
No, all good. And before you start, Simon, for procedure with the conflict of interests identified, would Ruby and Megan have to mute and take the video off at this point, or once we begin discussion?
Yes, this would be the point where we would ask those members who have declared conflicts of interest to mute themselves, to turn their cameras off. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. I've seen that has been done. Great. Thank you. Sorry for the delay. John.
No worries. Once again, I'm pleased to bring you the case HRTG 2024-02793, the heritage registration for 1158 South Park Street in Halifax. In May 2025, an application was made by the current owner to consider the inclusion of 1158 South Park Street in the registry of heritage property for the Halifax Regional Municipality. The property will hereafter be referred as simply as 1158 South Park Street or the subject property. The subject property is located on the west side of South Park Street between South Street and English Street within the proposed Victoria Road Heritage Conservation District. The subject property contains a 2.5-story Second Empire style residential building. The Heritage Advisory Committee is asked to score the subject property on the registration evaluation criteria before you. For each criterion, I will present the findings and leave some time for the committee member to discuss the score. So our first evaluation criteria is age. The property at 1158 South Park Street, formerly known as 72 South Park Street, is located within what's called Smith Field. The land was subdivided following by the death of Lath Smith. Smith heir in 1861, a local carpenter, Alex McNabb, obtained 3 adjacent properties, including the subject one. In 1873 and later, he constructed 3 Second Empire-style residence buildings. In 1875, the subject building was sold to William Creighton. Construction of the dwelling is most accurately dated to 1875 during McNabb's ownership, supported by the city directory records and also the lead descriptions in the deed file. Based on the construction date of 1875, staff recommend a score of 13 points for age.
To the committee, what do we feel is a fair score?
Quite obvious, I believe.
Yeah. 13.
Great. Anyone opposed to 13?
No.
Great. 13 it is.
Thank you. Our next criterion is the historical importance. So the subject property was associated to a prominent 19th century Canadian author and scholar, James DeMille. Born in St. John's, New Brunswick, he was educated at Acadian College and Brown University. DeMille held professionalships at Acadian College and later at Dalhousie University, where he taught history, rhetoric, and English. Known of his engaging teaching, he also authored over 30 novels across various genres, including early science fiction novels, becoming one of the most well-known authors in his time. His residential at 1158 South Park Street is directly tied to his most influential period in literature and education. As one of the most famous Canadian authors in late 19th century, staff recommend a score between 16 and 20.
Any thoughts on scoring?
Well, given how much he published, maybe he's a 20.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same.
Great. Anyone opposed to 20?
Well, I see that there's a 25 here. If somebody please explain that to me. Potentially intimately related, 11 to 25.
That must be a typo.
Yeah, there's 20, 20 is the max.
Mm.
20 is the max. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20.
All right, 20 it is.
You. And our third criteria is the significance of the architect or the builder. 1158 South Park Street was built by the local carpenter Alexander McNabb, who was active in the Smith Field during 1870s. Deed records confirm that he developed many properties in Halifax South suburban, including 3 Halifax box-style houses on Lucknow Street and some properties on Victoria Road. He also constructed 3 Second Empire-style houses at South Park Street, including the subject one. An advertisement in the city directory indicates that he was also capable of brick construction, though no surviving example has been found through the research. Though little is known about his life, McNabb's work indicates a successful building career. Based on that, staff recommends a score between 1 and 3.
I think 3.
Great, yeah. Yeah,
Are we all good with 3?
yeah.
Perfect. 3 it is.
Thank you. And criteria 4A is the architectural mirror for construction. The house built around 1875 is an early example of bloom framing construction. Unlike heavy timber framing, bloom framing use dimensional numbers, which allows builders much more flexibility in shaping a house. The full height projecting bay on the facade is made possible by this new construction method. The building sits on a rock foundation with 2 large brick chimneys. The exterior was originally clad with wood shingles, but has since been replaced with vinyl siding. Given the bloom framing construction, the staff recommends a score between 4 and 6.
That last picture, what are we looking at there?
This is a stone foundation for the.
Yeah.
We can
The
see
actual
the stone.
foundation, yeah.
Yeah, we can see the stone underneath the concrete cover.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you.
How do we feel for this one? 5?
What's the difference between the 2 numbers?
Anyone opposed to
5?
5?
5.
Great. 5 it is.
Thank you. So criteria 4B is the architecture mirrored for style. The building at 1158 South Park Street is a significant example of Second Empire style, which was popular in Nova Scotia between 1850s to 1900s. Character defining elements of the subject property include, but not limited to, the 3-story Second Empire style house with an asymmetric plan, the mansard roof, some pedimented and gabled dormer, 2 brick chimneys, the fenestration on the front facade, 1 arch-topped window with stained glasses, a projecting 3-story bay with an entry door, and the entry door with transom light and side lights. As a unique example of Second Empire style building, staff recommend a score between 7 and 10.
Given there's been no major changes, maybe we should go with a 10.
Yeah. Is there any indication that more windows weren't like that stained glass window at one time when it was first built? That's really attractive.
So the chair to the committee member, during our research, we believe some of these windows are still keep original. So, and also the stained glass window is on the side of the building, so possibly is for the privacy reason. So that may be the reason why it's only one has stained glasses. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Sorry, what was oh yes, so 10. Anyone opposed?
I'll put it at 10.
Yeah, 10 is good.
10 it is.
Thank you. And our 5th criterion is architectural integrity. The dwelling retains a moderate level of integrity, while the original form remains largely intact. Several material and decorative elements has been removed. A small rear addition was added to the mansard roof, and also some later modification, including the rear stairs and decks for multi-unit conversions. Window trims has been removed, and some dormers or wood trims are clad in vinyl or metal. Original wood siding has been replaced with vinyl, and the eave brackets has been removed. The foundation and chimney are now coated in concrete. Despite the change, the house retains a moderate integrity that reflects its Second Empire style origins. Given the moderate architectural integrity, staff recommends a score between 6 and 10.
Usually the changes to the back of the house, we don't ignore them, but they're not as important as the side or front. So
Yes.
10?
I don't know, the vinyl siding certainly takes like, if it kept wood shingles and wood siding, whatever, I think I'd give a higher score, but I
Yeah.
think the vinyl siding might distracts from it.
Okay.
Yeah, to cover any material, any existing outside material, exterior sheathing with vinyl siding really takes away from it.
Mm. It's at a 10. How do we feel about splitting the difference? 8?
8.
8, okay.
8 sounds
8,
nice.
8,
Yeah.
8's good.
Great. 8.
Thank you. Our last criteria is the relationship to the surrounding area. The subject property is in a residential area along South Park Street, characterized by 2 to 3 story building, typical of Halifax historic low-rise urban fabric. However, ongoing development has introduced mid to high-rise apartments in surrounding blocks. The property lies within the proposed Victoria Road Heritage Conservation District and is near to several significant heritage areas. To the north is the Schmidtville Heritage Conservation District, a well-preserved neighborhood of late Georgian and early Victorian houses. To the south, English Street and Tower Street features later 19th century Victorian streetscape, although South Park Street is not formally registered. It retains a largely intact streetscape with several Victorian style residences. The subject property contributes meaningfully to the heritage context and reflects the area's development history. Given all the reasons, staff recommends a score between 6 and 10.
What's meant by pressure from developers? Push to flip back to the previous screen. It was speaking of pressure from development, facing development pressure. Yeah.
Mm.
What's meant by that? Are developers banging on the doors and?
Through the chair to the committee members, just means that in this area that there are a lot of developments that already happened, and there are many more developments are proposed in planning and proposed to be happen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe this one's at a 10. I don't have it in front of me. What do we feel is a fair score?
It was from 6 to 10?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
6 to 10.
10.
10. Yeah, let's go with 10.
Yeah. Fits in the neighborhood.
It's definitely fits. Anyone opposed to a 10? Great, 10 it is.
All right. None. And finally, the recommendation is now before the committee for consideration. Should the subject property score 50 or more points on the evaluation, staff advise the committee to produce in making the following 2 recommendations to the regional council. Thank you.
I believe that passes our threshold at 69. So
Yeah.
I have the motion pasted in the chat. If we could have someone move that.
I'll move it if nobody else wants to.
Great.
I move that the Heritage Advisory Committee recommend that 1, set a date for a heritage hearing to consider the inclusion of the subject property in the Registry of Halifax, or heritage property for the Halifax Regional Municipality, and 2, approve the request to include 1158 South Park Street, Halifax, in the Registry of Heritage Property for Halifax Regional Municipality as shown on map 1 of the staff report dated August 14, 2025. As a municipal heritage property under the Heritage Property Act.
Thank you. And a seconder.
I second it.
Thank you. All right, so I'd like to invite the committee for any discussion around the motion. Well, none being, let's put this up to the vote. So all those in favor of the motion,
Aye.
Aye.
Right,
Aye.
those opposed? None, so motion carries, passes. Thank you. All right, so on to the next agenda item is 9.1.2. For the staff update regarding several properties located between civic. Oh, yes, I'd like to invite Megan and Ruby back. And then the next item is 9.1.2, the staff update regarding several properties located between civic addresses 1308 and 1390 Roby Street, Halifax. And I'd like to invite staff to provide a verbal update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jesse Morton again. So these properties relate to a third-party heritage registration application that the team received quite some time ago. So staff are working on these registrations. There's been a couple roadblocks, I think, that has delayed the process. So first and foremost, there was a period of time where we were advised by legal to halt processing third-party heritage registration requests while there was an ongoing legal issue, but that has since been resolved. And I think in more recent times, there's been two of the properties are kind of wrapped up in special counsel direction for other projects. So some of you might remember heritage case H00501. So this is something that council looked at starting back in 2022, and an information report went to them again more recently this year. So through this application, council gave us very special direction to explore potential registration applications for properties that were owned by universities. And two of these properties are on that list. So in order to proceed, we have to address regional council's special direction for those two properties before we can complete the analysis of the streetscape. Yeah, that's kind of the delay where we are right now. When we get special direction from council, we have to follow that direction to completion before we can tackle other work that's kind of intertwined with that process. So that's kind of why there's been, it's taken some more time than is typical for this particular registration application. And if the committee is interested, I could put a couple links in the chat just so you could take a look at the staff report that went forward for those university registration applications in case you're interested in learning more about it. And afterwards, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to staff.
Not speak for everybody else, but I like to see that information, Jesse.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, thank you, Jesse. And I would love to have those.
Okay, perfect.
Great. So just looks like we're waiting on council and procedures. Great. All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments on that?
Question here. What's meant by what's a third-party application?
Oh, so Paul, it's when a party other than the owner of the property makes an application to register a heritage property. I think, is that correct, Jesse?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, that's a third-party heritage registration application. Yeah, it's typically when a property owner submits an application for something they don't own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I guess to clarify, so anyone who's a resident of HRM is able to make a third-party application?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. So anyone in HRM has the ability to submit a third-party heritage registration if they have some supporting historical research as to why they were making the application. So yeah, that's something that everyone is potentially able to do. We have many of those applications in right now, but we're also balancing property-initiated registration applications as well as regional council initiated applications. So those are the three types that we typically focus on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I did just have a question about the third party. Is there like, as far as, because I know when the heritage registration actually goes through, there's like a notification to the property owner. If in the case of these third party registration applications, is the property owner notified in any official capacity when it's submitted, or do they find out from residents? Or I'm just curious to know what the process is in those circumstances.
Sure. So through you, Mr. Chair, so the Heritage Property Act outlines procedures that we have to follow when we receive these applications, which includes notifying the property owner. So typically when we get a third-party registration application, we do some investment of the property to see if there's merit in proceeding with the application. And then once we have the research report done and we have a good understanding of the property's potential heritage value, then we would notify the property owner in advance of the report coming to the Heritage Advisory Committee, and then formally through notification after the HAC has made their decision. So that notification would go directly to the property owner as well, and also would go to the registry to be included on the deed for the property.
Right, okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Anything else we'd like to add? No? All right. So thank you, Jesse, for that update and that information. Those are great. There are no added items, and the date of our next meeting is October 22nd. So without anything else to do, just need a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
So
I've got one item, if I may address it to Jesse. Going back to the first item we dealt with, both those properties on Roby Street and one on North, 3 properties on Roby, one on North. Is it understandable that they're closer to being demolished than what many of us would like?
So through you again, Mr. Chair, to the committee member. So when it comes to these other applications, because it's not a heritage property, our team isn't notified in advance and we're not analyzing these other applications actively. So once we receive the third-party application, I did check with some colleagues in building and development engineering. And in regard to some of those permits, it appears like, yes, at least the demolition permit is pretty close to being issued. There are some revisions with the applicant. And again, I'm not actively involved, but I would advise that most of those revisions are minor in nature. It's not something that would slow that permit process for weeks or months. It's likely forthcoming.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. So, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Great. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you
Thank
on October 22nd.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tyler.
Thank
Wonderful
you.
evening.